don't give a shit if the Hells Angels hang out there. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I discover bands. That's what I do. I discover bands and talk to dangerous people. Because I didn't lock my door when I was a kid, and I'm not aware of the consequences of that. But I don't even blame you, because I don't even think those consequences happen anymore. I don't think. I think it's just me. I think I'm just traumatized by it, because God hates me. And you got... Seriously, we're like Lewis and Clark, are we not? We're like the fucking Lewis... Do you know how many times we had to get chased from weed spots on Washington Avenue so you guys could enjoy cheap rent and work in the city and work on a dream? You know? Do you know how many times I got chased? I got my bike stolen. One of my favorite stories, I went to buy weed on Washington Avenue on my friend's bike. My friend Nick Michonne's bike. He borrowed it from his friend Nick Worthman. So like if I got the bike stolen, which I did, I'm 3 people removed. I don't know how to apologize. He's got to deal with like, yo, I lent your bike to somebody else irresponsibly and that shit got stolen because we needed to smoke weed in 1993 or whatever it was when gangsta rap was popular and shit was a little different. Crown Heights. You guys know what Crown Heights is? You're like, yeah, I got a friend named Steven. I don't know what the problem is. I go to this nice little new cafe. They got free Wi-Fi. And it's a blast. Anyway, I drove the bike into the weed spot. And the weed spots used to be, remember the weed spot? Just one Jamaican dude sitting there with thick fucking glass. And when he saw you, they would usually leave like 2 Jamaicans outside to protect you because they knew we weren't from there. It wasn't like now where you could possibly be from there. If you were on Franklin Avenue, you were a fucking pothead. You were a fucking dedicated pothead who needed to get high because your parents were divorced and you were spoiled and you needed something to numb the pain. And they just knew you were from Park Slope. There was no way you could be white and be like, hey, what's up, fella? It just didn't happen. It's hard for you to fathom, but like, it's like going to Cuba. It would be like, no, because Cuba's what would it be like? It would be like being in Fallujah. That's what it was. If you were just walking down Fallujah Boulevard, like, yo, like something would happen to you. But they would leave like 2 Jamaicans out there to protect the Park Slope white dudes because it was part of a business. And if you didn't see any Jamaicans outside, you were fucked. That's just the way it was. So I saw that when I went up there. It was raining, so it had like an Alfred Hitchcock feel to it to begin with. So I'm like, all right, this is gonna suck. But so this is a good story. So I drive his bike, my friend's bike, into the thing, park it right by the radiator, and go for 2 seconds to tell the Jamaican dude I need a couple dime bags. I turn around, I see the front wheel of the bike just going out the door. And then I was like, damn, now I'm in a pickle. Because I don't know what's outside. You know what I mean? It's like a horror movie where they don't show you the killer, so the suspense is worse. So in my mind, there was like 50. I felt like Mobb Deep was out there with everyone who was in their videos. Just like they weren't real friends, but they were in the video. So it's like 800 of them. Like, yo, I want to be on camera, and I felt like there was 800 Project Hoods just waiting for me. So I'm sitting there panicking. I was having a panic attack before I knew what a panic attack was, before I had like too many Jewish friends to legitimize it. Like, you're having a panic attack. Just go see a therapist. Your problem is you need to have therapy and maybe a little Xanax. It was like I was having a heart attack. I'm like, hello? And there was no cell phone, so I couldn't be like, Eastern, yeah, can I get a car? I'm just stranded there. There's nothing to bail me out, all right? I gotta go to a payphone. I'm just fucked. And I got a backpack, which makes it worse. Because I got like a backpack. A white person with a backpack just looks like a fucking idiot, you know what I mean? I had a JanSport, and I had 2 straps on. So I'm like, I'm just having a panic attack. Like, I should have listened to my mother and never left this neighborhood. So I decide to just dart out. Now imagine if there were, I don't know if there were people waiting out there for me or not, because I ran so fast. They probably were. They just saw me and started cracking up laughing, because I didn't wait to get out the door. I got a head start from the counter. I was like, all right, fuck this, I'm backing up. As soon as I blast through that door, I'm going full blast. And I just blasted through the door. And I ran so hard with the fear of God in me. Just, I could feel the stretch in my muscles. I ripped muscles in my leg. I was like a fucking gazelle. I wasn't even, if you took a camera and did it in slow motion, I didn't even touch the ground. Ran all the way to Grand Army Plaza until I saw a white person. I was like, finally, I'm home. I see one or two, back in that day, you see white people, you know you're safe. You've hit the buffer zone of Grand Army Plaza by the Brooklyn Public Library. I'm like, I'm okay. But then I realized I was in a position where I got my friend's bike stolen, and I didn't want to tell him I was irresponsible and just left it by the radiator. So I was like, all right, I got to think of a good lie. So I thought of a good lie. I'm like, all right, you know, I took some fire and went down. Because I didn't want to look like a pussy either, or a bad person. So, true story, I started punching myself in the face. Punching myself in the face repeatedly to look like I put up a fight. And then I got home and I was like, yo, these motherfuckers, there was 50 of them. But you should have seen the dude. I bit his dick, he went down. I tried to do everything I could to protect your bike. But yo, I got the weed. So I was like a hero, because I still had the dime bags and a fat lip for myself. And that's when I realized, growing up in the 90s, being white, you were going to have some neuroses. That's when I realized it wasn't going to be okay. You guys ready to keep the show moving? Let's get a round of applause. Just make sure you keep the